Hey everyone, I'm Todd Stevens.
And I'm Ross Merriam.
And you're watching the Verse Series by StarCityGames.com. Our Team Constructed Challenge to celebrate the 25th Anniversary Pro Tour this weekend is moving on to Modern. We saw Standard Grixis Midrange, the absolute best deck in the format.
Versus Red-Black earlier this week, so if you haven't seen that one, you can check that one out after watching this one. But we are on to Modern for day 2. We're going to have some Legacy later in the week to complete our Team Constructed, and the theme for this week is that both of us are just bringing the decks that we would bring to the Pro Tour if I was playing with a team of 2 of me, which would be awesome, and Todd was playing with a team of 2 more Todds, which would end the world as we know it.
What? Oh, that'd be so great.
The world would be too happy.
Just too happy.
Too much positivity.
If there's just 2 more Todds,
the world would implode.
No, the world would be great. But so I'm bringing 5-color humans to the table here, which this year in Modern, there's so many decks you can play. This was actually probably this was pretty hard to determine oh man, if we're playing at the Pro Tour, have to pick a Modern deck, what would we really recommend and play and everything.
Yeah, and we've seen the format shift a lot in the last 5 or 6 months. Humans emerged as pretty much the best deck, and it was pretty dominant for 3 or 4 weeks in a row. We thought that if that continued for any significant length of time, you might see a ban of either Aether Vial or Cavernous Souls or something like that. But we've seen Modern adapt as it typically does. We've seen a lot of removal-heavy decks, Jeskai Control, other control decks, Mardu Pyromancer, all emerge as foils to humans. Now, humans, we don't see a ton of it.
Yeah.
There's only 1 in the day 2 of the recent Team Open. But I think at the Pro Tour, people tend to favor more proactive decks. I don't think you're going to see as many of the super removal-heavy decks, and that makes humans a better choice for the Pro Tour metagame. So I like your decision here.
And also, it also gained a new card, Militia Bugler.
Yes.
Yeah. And so that's going to be a pretty big addition also. Now, I've been pretty vocal about Militia Bugler on my stream when people ask about it in the green-based decks, like Green-White Company and the Counters Company decks, and I just don't think it's any good whenever you have access to green and Collected Company. Even in the Counters Company deck, the problem with Militia Bugler in the Counters Company deck is you may think, oh man, it gets any part of the combo you want, so then, this is a card that can help you find whichever part of the combo you need.
Courser and Out of the Reliquary, that's kind of cool.
No, the Counters Company deck.
Oh, Counters Company, sure.
Yeah. Not
I was thinking Green White Company.
Yeah, no. So, Devoted Druid, Vizier of Remedies, and Dustwatch Recruiter. Yeah.
It's just you said company, my mind immediately went to Courser Crufix.
Yeah, no. But it's definitely not good in that deck. But anyway, the problem with it in that deck is that the 2/3 body just doesn't matter. You're not attacking blocking in that Counters Company deck. You're just not killing people through damage. So I just think if you want in those kind of decks, if you want a creature that kind of helps you find the other stuff, just play Tireless Trackers. Play tons of Tireless Trackers. I just think it's much more powerful. However, in humans, when you're playing Aether Vial and you're much more aggressive, and you have cards like Champion of the Parish and Thalia's Lieutenant that you want extra bodies for, I could see Militia Bugler doing it more in this kind of style deck where all the bodies matter because you're playing an aggressive strategy. There's lots of 2-power creatures, so you know that the small bodies will help get there. And so against a deck like Jeskai, you just want as many of those bodies as you can get.
Yeah, I like the immediate card advantage as opposed to something like Dark Confidant that we've seen in humans lists that can die without generating any advantage. I like the ability to maybe trim a Reflector Mage so you don't draw too many in game 1 against the heavy removal decks, but you still have access to it. Like it's a 4 of because you have several copies of Bugler to dig. I like that Bugler just finds extra copies of Meddling Mage, maybe extra Reflector Mages, extra copies of your disruptive elements as necessary in certain matchups. I was skeptical because when I initially thought of the card, I thought of it as this card advantage engine, but it's really it's small amounts of card advantage in a way that's pretty immediate and pretty free, and the ability to humans always wants to assemble sort of one of everything, and Bugler certainly helps you do that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just want to sort of spam a certain human, and it helps you do that too. So the cards, it's more card selection,
right?
And the card selection is actually very advantageous for a deck that's lacking in it and would really like some.
Yep.
So I've come around on the Bugler. I think it's a good addition. I think we'll see humans come up again because we're we're getting to a point in the modern metagame where there are decks that are combating the removal heavy decks, and then as those decks get suppressed, humans gets better with Bugler. It should reemerge.
Yeah. And how you were talking about the card selection, that means you see your sideboard cards more often. And I think that's just a really important thing just in Modern, just in Magic, just being able to see your sideboard cards more
Find
often.
those Staticasters, find those...
like Gaddock Teague, Rexage, Kataki, all that kind of stuff. Now, I have been playing this deck a little bit on Leagues of Magic Online, and I've already whiffed on Bugler a couple of times. Like just like lands, Ether Vial, Manus Riders. You know, like you only see 4 cards. It's not many cards. So I've whiffed like 2 out of like 8 times so far. So like
your deck's like over half creatures, right?
Yeah, I know it's not
55% or so.
Yeah, so it's not a great percentage that you whiff, but it will happen, and those times do feel pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably 90% to hit or so, maybe even a little bit better.
Really? That high? Remember the Manus Riders don't get it. So you have
you have Manus Riders accounts. You're close
so you
to
have like
half.
19, 23. You have like 27 that don't work. Like 19 lands and then 4 Vial, 4.
Yeah, so 33 out of 60 is 11 out of 20. That's 55%.
Okay. Yeah.
45 squared is 20, 25.
Yeah. So it shouldn't happen too often, but it will. But when that does happen, you're usually shipping a lot of lands to the bottom that you don't want to draw anyway. So that's not the worst.
Yeah, you're pretty high to hit. So maybe you should just be a little bit luckier, Todd.
Okay. All right. I'll try to do that. So since your game plan is just to be a little luckier, what are you doing this weekend or today? Sorry.
I'm playing Tron.
Okay. So, yeah, that's a good game plan for just be a little luckier.
Exactly. So I'm just going to be lucky, and I'm going to make 7 mana on turn 3.
Okay.
And I'm going to play something gigantic that you can't answer.
Okay. Cool.
So this is a matchup that I found pretty interesting. I've played it all entirely from the human side, and this will be my first time from the side of things.
The other way. I've actually played it entirely from the Tron side.
We're switching roles here. And essentially, Tron has a lot of cards that you can't ever deal with. Can't ever beat Nugan.
Yeah. Oblivion Stone, nope.
Yeah, can't really beat an Oblivion Stone. Karn, it can be tough if you're there on the play. If you don't have a Reflector Mage and a Wormcoil Engine, it's probably unbeatable. So you really need to stop them from landing any threat. And you can't interact with Tron, which is interesting, although now you have Damping Sphere.
Yeah.
But you do have a pretty good ways of disrupting them between Meddling Mage, Reflector Mage for Wormcoil, Thalia, and Kitesail Freebooter. It's honestly not that hard for you to win the game before they ever land a big threat. Or get them so low they die to a Mantis Rider. Yeah. Something like that. And so that's sort of your job. And balancing getting the right clock with sequencing your disruption on the right turns. So you basically want to get your disruption so that they can't land a threat, but you want to sequence that disruption in such a way that you still maximize your clock within those parameters. And that is a tough puzzle for the humans deck to solve.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a little easier if you have an early freebooter so that you can see their hand. And sometimes you freeboot and Thalia them to stop them from casting Sylvan Scryings and stuff. It's really cool, actually. So we'll see how it goes here.
Okay.
We got our 25th anniversary roll. The previous video we rolled 8 dice, but we did the math and figured out that 7 dice gets us closer to 25 being the center of the distribution.
So we're going to go ahead and roll 7 dice now instead of 8 and see who can roll the closest number to 25.
Yes.
And that'll be how
we're going to sum our 7 dice.
Yep. I won last time with a 28.
And I have 23.
Okay. All right.
You
10.
have way more than that.
27. I was like,
even.
what? Oh, yeah.
We're both 2 away. We tied.
Yeah, we did. All right.
Did not expect that to happen.
Yeah. Try again.
Okay. We should have instituted Price is Right rules.
20.
Oh, no, I'm way too high.
Oh, I'm 29.
I'm 33.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a really high roll.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll be able to go first again. Okay, so here for game 1, and my hand is pretty good because we got a turn 1 Vial and we got some disruption. So
my hand is also good because I have the necessary components to land Tron on turn 3.
Nice. That's what you want.
I will start with a Chromatic Star.
Okay. All right. Oh, does this get white dice? I guess because it doesn't go down, so it'd be white dice. That makes sense.
I don't know.
All right, free boot.
Okay, I guess
Get that Sylvan Scrying.
Relic of Progenitus. Oh no, I just had Natural Tron, baby.
Natural Tron and Wormcoil and Ballista. Yeah.
I'll leave this up for you. Let's play a Tron land and crack this for green. See if we can stir this turn. Play a Chromatic Star, crack it for green.
Yep.
And pass the turn.
All right.
So we have a plan here. I'm going to Wormcoil on 3, then I'm going to Ballista on 4, sacking the Sanctum, and find whatever I need to kill Todd. So you just drew the champion for turn? That's awkward. Man, Tron might be even more fun when your opponent sees it coming.
It's possible. All right, I'll take 1.
You're 19.
Gonna go ahead and
so you have 2 counters on champion, 1 on freebooter.
And I'll attack you for 2.
I go to 18. No other 2-drops in your hand?
Nope, go ahead.
So that makes Reflector Mage somewhat likely here.
Draw step, freebooter.
Okay, well...
So I decided to go draw step, freebooter over and get the counter on Lieutenant and start building that up over the counter on...
also gets a counter.
Yeah, or the counter on freebooter.
I've drawn 3 lands in a row.
I could have done the counter on both if I would have just played it with the trigger on the stack, Violet in, but I figured the draw step might have helped us out the most. But
So I've drawn 3 lands in a row. You don't get anything.
Okay.
But now Reflector Mage, I might just be dead to a...
All right, I will keep Vial on 2. So if I keep Vial on 2, I cannot cast Mana Strider if I draw Mana Strider. So I guess I should move it up
one
to
card
3.
in your hand?
Yeah.
Is it relevant?
I have a 2-drop in my hand.
Is it a 2-drop you want to cast?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to be casting it. But I guess I'd still move this up in case I get Mana Strider. Okay.
Oh, yeah, because you can't cast Mana Strider with the cards in your hand. Okay.
Yeah, because I can't. Yeah, this mana base cannot cast Mana Strider.
You get punished if you draw another 2-drop. But... Okay.
we're just going big. 2, 1. Okay. I'm taking another one, so I'm down to
18.
18.
So 18 all.
All right. How are we looking on attacks? Now, obviously, we're getting in there with our free booties.
Yep.
So they're coming on in here.
Probably not getting in with the 5/5 Lieutenant.
Yeah, Lieutenant's not. So it's whether I want this 7/7 to trade with the Wormcoil, and I think the answer is no, because if I trade this, then you have the lifelink and the death touch that kind of answer these pretty well. If I wait a turn, I can attack with like both and then be able to get in damage before those come through. So I guess the answer is no. So let's just go ahead and hit you for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Go to 13.
13. And also this makes Reflector Mage a much better draw step by not attacking here. Go ahead.
Six. So I'm trying to figure out what happens. Oh, that's awkward. So I definitely want to get Ulamog with this Sanctum to Ulamog the next turn off of this Ballista. So we can do that because I have nothing else while I think about whether or not I want to attack. So the problem is if Todd draws Reflector Mage, then I have to I have to kill this in response to that trigger, block this champion, and then deal 3 to this freebooter, and then this will be 5, 8, 11, and then Reflector Mage pumps twice and is exactly 13, and that's a problem.
It's not a problem.
If I just attack, and I definitely gain 6, Todd assuredly doesn't block because he doesn't want to leave blockers back.
Correct.
So Todd would just go to 12. I would go to 19, and then would a Reflector Mage still kill me? Then I would just probably kill these, and this would be 5, 12, 17. That would still be 19. So I guess I'm dead to Reflector Mage no matter what I do.
Yeah, so the way to not have been dead would have been if you would have not got Ulamog, if you would have played Tower and got Ballista on 5. Would you have been survived
Yeah,
then?
but that's like probably killing me to other things.
I guess actually you might have still just been dead, because you don't get to kill another thing. So no, never mind. So what you want to do?
If I'm dead to Reflector Mage either way, then I might as well hold back the Wormcoil.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'll pass.
All right, and I'm going to go to upkeep. I'm going to move to my draw step. I would like to draw a reflector mage, please. Tilt.
Oh, you got a canopy there.
Yeah, I think cracking this canopy is better than playing this card with the Ulamog coming down next turn. This card's not going to do a whole lot, so just gotta hit reflector mage. We did not. Well, we'll just play our spell.
Okay.
So I'll put it over here. Triggers.
I am definitely killing the 1/1 lieutenant.
Tilt.
And yeah, I think everything else is fine.
All right, 3, 5, 7.
Yep.
Now what do we want to get in there for? So if I attack with these, you still get to just block here, gain 6, and
So
just
this is
cancels
just
out.
no extra damage, yeah.
Yeah, that's just not a good attack. I think I'm just dead.
So I also think you're just dead.
Yeah, I mean, Wormcoil into Ballista into Ulamog is like the best thing that Ross could have like had.
I got an 8.
Yep. Go ahead.
And now, baby, that's Ulamog, the 2 biggins, and mash you for 6.
So you're back up to 14. I'm down to 12.
And I will pass the turn.
Dang, could have had that last turn for Ulamog. Oh, I guess you would have shot it.
Yeah. Now I'm going to shoot down Thalia, then I'm going to shoot you for 2, and then Ostone you to attack for 10.
Get out of here.
Turn 6 kill.
Game 2, our humans, the heroes of this video, are unfortunately on a mulligan. So this is a keepable 6, though, and hopefully it's going to be fast enough. I'm going to go and scry. Do we need another land? I think so. I think with this card, the value of the land is going to be higher. So I think we'll go ahead and keep this land. Keep it on top.
My hand has Tron pieces, cantrips, and threats, so.
Just the normal Tron stuff?
Yep.
All right, so I'm going to name human and play a Noble Hierarch.
I will play Power Plant, Chromatic Sphere.
Okay. I will name human again and whack you for 4.
Okay, good start. I'm at 16.
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, let's pop this for green.
Okay.
And Sylvan Scrying for tower. You can go.
Ooh.
Am I getting 6 here?
I thought about it, but then actually I'm going to save the Mantis Rider in case there's... I think I'm going to want the haste damage for the removal. So actually, I think what I want is... I think I'd rather just Bugler and try to find some kind of interaction, just kind of save the Mantis Rider, actually. I'm attacking for 2 less this turn, but I think that's the 4, right? I'm used to 5, sorry, with Ancient
It
Stirrings.
doesn't matter what the 4 is.
Okay.
You get
Almost missed with these Ether Vial Mantis Rider cards. All right, hit you for 4.
I'm at 12.
Go ahead. So how good is this Bugler? Is it better than 7 mana on the other side?
Well, the Reflector Mage is good against my draw, so now I have to...
Yeah, nice Wormcoil.
Now I have to do other things. So, I guess my only plan here is to just play map and crack it and get another tower and pass.
Okay, so I'm definitely worried about Oblivion Stone next turn. Ross could have just played an Oblivion Stone out, though, but still worried about it. So Ross is at 12. How much do we want to go in here? Do we want to just kind of go all in and put Ross down to 1? Or do we want to hold this other Mantis Rider back? I think, well, let's see. So we know our third Mantis Rider is down at the bottom of the library. So so if there is a sweeper, it's not likely that we're going to be able to rebuild very quickly. If it is an Oblivion Stone. think I like kind of going all in and putting Ross down to 1, though. We have, like, Horizon Canopy. So if we go... All right, so if we do these, that's going to be 11.
Brings you to 19.
Yep.
I got a 1.
Yep. Go ahead.
Okay, I need to draw
We need to draw a gut shot.
Oblivion Stone. And that is not going to do it. Okay, we're here for sideboarding. On my side, not a lot going on. Just bringing in some removal spells. This will really help against Todd's more disruptive draws, where I'm not going to just turbo Tron and start slamming threats. And sometimes you can like dismember on a turn when you have a spare mana around and just slow him down by a little bit so I get that one extra turn. And then Relic is obviously just the worst card in my deck. And I think Karn is the worst threat. It gets affected by Thalia. It's not that great unless you cast it on turn 3. And even turn 3 on the draw can be too slow. And it's vulnerable to Mantis Rider because you really want a -3 when it enters the battlefield. So I think Karn is the worst threat. So I'm just trimming 1 and the 2 Relics, which are definitely the worst cards, and bringing in 3 extra removal spells for the early game.
Yeah. On my side, the sideboard that I have here, I don't have a whole lot for Tron. I don't have Damping Spheres in my sideboard. I'm kind of focused on the rest of the matchups. So I'm just going to try to just do my thing and just be fast and disruptive and try to win the game. Gaddock Teague is basically just another meddling mage. It only really affects Karn and Ugin, but it's basically a meddling mage for both Karn and Ugin there. And so to put those in, I want to try to make my deck a little faster. So we're going to get rid of 2 3-drops. May not have the time to bugle too much here, so we'll still keep 2 of both these cards. We had 3 in the main deck. We're still gonna keep 2 of both.
Yeah, Reflector Mage is a liability except against Wormcoil, where it's pretty necessary, so you need to keep a couple in. And Bugler, yeah, it's just one of the slower cards. The card advantage isn't really important here. I'm going over the top. Interestingly, we both have green cards on our sideboard that you might think to bring in, and we both initially thought to, but were persuaded not to. I have the Thragtusks here, which kind of look good against an aggressive deck, but oftentimes, like Todd's ground creatures that are most important can outpace it. We saw him make some 6/6s in game one, and that's not really what the games are about. I'm just going to try to land my really over-the-top threats, the Oblivion Stones, the Ugins, the Wormcoils, and the Ulamogs, or like a really big ballista. Thragtusk is a speed bump that sort of costs 5 mana, which is pretty expensive in this matchup. I am already bringing in some speed bumps. I don't need too many of them, and that's really all it does because the Humans deck is so powerful.
Yeah. So like whenever I play Tron, I actually don't bring in Thragtusk in this matchup because it is while it does speed bump humans a little bit, it does speed bump your own draws and it can be pretty clunky. The Rex Sage is awesome against Oblivion Stone. It's awesome when Ross would not have Tron and would just be able to stick an Oblivion Stone out there, and then I could be able to tag it with Reclamation Sage. Besides that, it's not going to really do very much. And so I think that just in general, it's a card that, again, I don't really want to have in my hand for just that narrow circumstance.
There's this dream scenario when you're on the play and you got a map with it with a Noble Hierarch.
Yeah.
And that just happens 1 out of 100 games or something. So
right.
Not enough to want the card.
Yep.
Okay, we're here for game 3. I'm on the play. This hand is not quite as good as my previous hands. I'm not guaranteed turn 3 Tron, but I have enough looks at it, and my hand is pretty powerful that even if I hit on turn 4 here on the play, I think I'll be fine, so I'm going to keep.
Cool. Mine is just, this is definitely a keep with humans. You got some lands and 1-drops.
I'll start on a sphere.
I am going to lead with... that other draw wasn't as good. I think I lead with Vial over Champion.
You always lead with Vial.
Yeah.
Champion is actually the worst 1-drop in the deck.
Yeah. Yeah, because you want to be as fast as possible.
Okay. Sack for green.
To do that, you need to be able to get as many cards down on the battlefield as you can.
Oh, we did it. We hit a Tron land, Sylvan Scrying, Fine Tower. This deck is great. Everything is so easy.
Yeah, 2 Tron lands in Sphere. That's definitely a keep.
Yeah, well, I Tron land Scrying Sphere. So I had 2 draws to find one of the 8 other Tron lands.
Yeah.
For turn 3. You can go.
We have drawn probably the 2 worst cards in our deck we possibly could draw. I'm going to go ahead and play Gaddock Teague. And pass the turn.
Well,
Hopefully you just got a bunch of Karns and Ugins over there.
Well, instead I have Wormcoil Engine.
Okay.
And a Sphere.
And I'll Vial and Champion.
Sure.
Upkeep. Go to 2.
Getting Reflector Maged.
Yeah. I'll put in this Thalia also to put the counter on here. Hit you for 5.
15.
15. Go ahead.
Okay. Let's pop this for a green. So I have colorless green floating.
Yeah.
Play Expedition Map, no mana floating. Play Sanctum of Ugin.
Okay.
Pass the turn.
Do you know what card would be cool to go get with your Expedition Map?
What?
Urza's Factory.
You know, I don't think that's true.
Alright, I'm going to take up Vial to 3 here, because even if we crack a Canopy, we can still cast a 2-drop. And we did find a 2-drop. So let's go ahead and crack our Canopy. So crack the Canopy.
Yep.
Draw. Alright, so we're attacking for 5, 7, 9. We're attacking for 9. We can't really increase that too much. It's still just 2-turn. So I'm not going to do anything here. Yeah, we just have too many lands in our hand.
I'm at 6.
Yep, go ahead.
End of turn, crack this map. Don't think there's any reason to get anything other than this tower. Oh. And
You don't have an Urza's Factory to go get?
no, I don't. Got me to something good, Todd.
Alright, here's something good, Todd.
That does not count.
Yeah, it's good for Todd. That's what you said.
So this is going to be 5, 6. So I'll still have. So with the tower, when I play, this costs 2 mana. So I play and crack all with tower mana. That would leave 1. This is 6. Tower makes 9. So if I draw O-Stone, I can still O-Stone. So yeah, let's crack this for a green.
Okay.
And play Wormcoil.
Okay.
Got an image or another Reflector Mage.
Yeah. But no, we'll just go. All right, let's go ahead and image the Reflector Mage.
I'm dead.
Hooray.
I did indeed have Karnugan in my hand.
Nice.
So Gaddock Teague was very good.
Nice.
Okay, here we are for game 4. I'm on the play. I've taken a mulligan to 6, and my hand is not great, but I'm very close to Tron, and I have some ways to buy time, and this should at least get me a threat at some point. So I'm going to keep this. I think maybe I should have mulliganed this, but it's close.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it after.
If you only keep with scrying is pretty nice.
I think I'm going to keep this just because it's an extra card and green mana for my stirrings. So let's start on map and pass the turn.
Okay. I'm going to play a Noble Hierarch. Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm going to go Noble Hierarch over Champion because I just want as much mana as possible throughout the rest of the game.
Do I just want to slow Todd down here?
No, don't slow me down. I didn't do nothing.
Is this a scenario where I want to bolt the bird? So it'll actually be awkward if I... No, I guess it won't. Because I have to play this. Yeah, I'm going to go for the star instead. If I kill the noble, I get destroyed by a freebooter potentially. But I'm going to make green. I guess I draw a card. And then stirrings.
Yep.
Oh, hold on. No, I only have 1 green. Okay.
Yeah, you only have 1 green up.
Stirrings.
Yep. It's usually better to do stirrings before scrying anyway, so you can find like a second one with stirrings and then scrying into the third land.
This is not how this is supposed to work.
You're You have plenty of power over there in those plants. Plenty of power.
So I'm gonna start with an O stone and still get, because that'll at least help me buy time.
Yeah.
And then I'll pass the turn.
Human, champion, and freebooter.
And there you go.
So I think we have to take contortion, because otherwise contortion just kills the freebooter.
Yep.
Yeah. Go ahead. So if I would have led with champion and then played freebooter, I would have been able to attack for 2 here. But the rest of my turns are going to be a lot better with Noble Hire, because I think it's worth the not doing the 2 mana.
Star was a good draw, because I'll let us cast Stirring. So I'll play Pop for green. Play Ghost Quarter and Scry for whichever Tron land I find first.
No, you get mine here. Always get mine. Because then if you have another scrying or use map, you can use map to go get tower, which will add 3 right away for the O-Stone.
I mean, I can leave a land untapped, so that's not a consideration. The consideration is I'll draw a tower more likely, and then I'll have more towers. I'm 1 out of 50-something to have 1 extra mana in 2 turns.
I have not drawn a spell really here. All right, I'm going to just go ahead and crack Horizon Canopy. It's not really what you want to be doing the 3rd turn of the game.
Yeah, that is definitely a bad sign from Todd for Todd. Though it's not like I'm swimming in it over here.
Wait, no, let's go with this territory.
Sure.
Territory, Teague.
So you're... Hold on.
Oh, because I got to name...
You can play Vial off this and then Teague off of those.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can still name humans. Yeah, play Vial off that, Teague off of that.
Yep.
Right, I forgot about that part.
Attack for 3.
Attack for 3. No counters on
17.
champion. Yep, go ahead.
So now I think I'm going to opt to get this O-Stone out now. And because I can just pop the map next turn and have 5 mana. And this means Todd can't draw another freebooter, an image, or a meddling mage to stop this O-Stone.
Yeah, I can't even stop the O-Stone now. I probably should have just...
And I'll play a sphere.
Yeah, I should not have gone that hard at the board.
Actually, I think I should have maybe hold the sphere, because I don't want to crack this in case I need green mana. This other map I can crack.
Yeah, you'll have the mana too.
I can crack this, play tower, have 5, crack this, get Sanctum. Yeah, so I'll just play the map. So now you know my hand.
Cool. All right, another canopy.
Yeah, a little flooded over there.
I can't play more lands.
That is true. 5?
5.
Out of 12.
Go.
Sack map. Get tower. Sack map. Get Sanctum. Normally I wouldn't shortcut this, but I know Todd's list. And just pass the turn. Now I'm at 12, so hold on. What is your... I might just kill everything with that Vial trigger on the stack, because I don't really want to take another 5 damage.
Okay.
You have how many cards?
3.
No, you don't have any reach. I can take more. Yeah, I should just take the 5 damage.
Combat.
Yep.
5.
I go to 7.
Go.
End step, O-Stone.
All right, move that up, but yeah, doesn't matter.
Yeah. This goes back to my hand. I also like getting the contortion back on end step, so now like a freebooter doesn't do anything.
Yeah, or just Manus Rider. You don't have to be as worried about Manus Rider
Yep.
now.
Todd has plenty of mana, so I'm not going to Ghost Quarter him. Yeah, you also haven't drawn the basic yet. So, yeah, let's play Worm Coil, play Oblivion Stone, pass with this contortion up, pass the turn.
I am very dead.
Took me long enough to get Tron,
right.
but...
I just finally drew my first 2 creatures of the game.
yeah.
I drew nothing but lands and vials until these 2.
Wow.
Yeah, because I kept these 4 in my hand with 3 lands. I kept those with 3 lands, and yeah.
Yeah, just bad draw on Todd's side.
Yep.
Makes up for my slow start.
the deciding game 5. My hand is so close to being great, but I don't think it's a mulligan. If we draw that extra land, though, we could be in there like...
Flynn. In like Flynn is the term.
Game 5. Where?
It's Errol Flynn.
In there like game
Zorro
5.
in the 30s.
In there like win. Where?
Okay, I've mulliganed to 6 in this game 5, as Tron is wont to do, and I am very close to having a very good hand, and we have plenty of draws to find it in, including this scry. And that is not one of them. Bottom.
All right, the noblest start.
That is a good one. Expedition map.
Okay. Cool. Ugh. Free boot.
Okay.
All right, so stone, star. Okay, so you just have Tron with Oblivion Stone next turn.
Drew the map.
I think I'm just going to take the star.
It's not a good sign.
And play another Hierarch and say go.
Okay, tower pass.
All right, so I'm going to name Oblivion Stone with Meddling Mage. And let's go ahead and blind name. That'll be the hardest card for us to beat. So I think I'm just going to name Oblivion Stone again.
I was thinking about doing that.
I think because if Ross finds like a Karn or a Spatial Contortion or a Dismember or anything like that, then you can just take out the one Meddling Mage and be able to have an O-Stone. I think I just want...
You could be a little weak to Wormcoil here.
Yeah, I could be weak to Wormcoil, weak to Ugin, for sure. But I think that's
probably better than being weak to any
of those
removal spell.
Yeah. So we'll attack for 3. Yeah, or Ballista. Yeah.
I go to 17.
Yep. Go ahead.
I'll crack this map. Get my power plant. And we'll see what the top of our deck yields.
Hopefully an Oblivion Stone. Just keep on drawing them.
Could also name Ancient Stirrings there.
You could draw them into Oblivion. Well, I don't know about any Ancient Stirrings in your hand.
Yeah, but it's like a card I can draw that gets me like what I need.
Yeah.
Okay, that was
I don't think I
great.
even saw green mana though. So
Power plant go.
Okay. All right, we're gonna just start getting pressure in with this card, even though it doesn't use our mana the best. But we're gonna just go ahead and go with Lieutenant.
Yeah, it seems good. Attack for 10.
Yeah, because we'll just
attack.
We'll just attack with these Hierarchs and stuff also.
Well, my hand's not good right now.
All right. Well, good luck. No, not so good luck. That's not going to do it. So our modern portion of the team constructed battle, I guess, that we're playing here has finished. And I guess humans is still just the best deck in modern. That's just undeniably.
It's not how it works.
So that's exactly how it works again.
You did see the humans game plan play out exactly according to the script we laid out in the intro.
Mm-hmm.
You win the games where you just use your disruptive elements to stop me from casting anything.
Yeah.
And in that game 3, you're able to take a cantrip, Meddling Mage blanks the other 2 threats in my hand, and it's just find something off the top of your deck in the next 3 turns.
Yeah, with Tron has a lot of like lands and cycling. It doesn't have a ton of like actual threats and a lot of different ones. So Gaddock Teague in that third game shutting off 2 cards from your hand, and then the Meddling Mage is shutting off 2 cards from your hand. You don't have a lot more than 2 threats usually that you want to be landing in those matchups.
Yeah. And so you're able to just handle 2 threats that time, and then apply enough pressure to kill me on, what was that, turn...
Probably turn
1,
5
2,
or so.
3, 4, 5. Yeah, turn 5.
Yeah.
And that's just about how humans draws it up.
Yep.
Like you disrupted 3 cards out of my 6-card hand and killed me on turn 5. And I was on the play, so I had 7 cards to kill you with.
Yeah.
And,
no, I was on the play, right?
Oh yeah, I won game 4.
Yeah.
So I had 8 cards to kill you with.
Yeah. Yeah, and 3 were gone, so you only had 5 cards. Oh, you counted the. Oh yeah, never mind. You counted those in your math there.
Yeah.
But
when you run the play now, I still had 7. So because if I was on.
Oh, because you had 6, and then...
Yeah, 3 of them are gone. I had 4 draw steps. So I had 7 cards to kill you with. I mean, like 4 or 5 of them ended up being lands.
Yep. And the others just kind of cycled. I think both of these options, though, are going to be good choices for a Pro Tour 25th anniversary. They're both just proactive decks that are very powerful. And you see Tron just going way over the top of everybody. You see humans trying to go under, but then also disrupt anything in the format. And yeah, I like either of these for choices.
Yeah,
right now.
But both decks are definitely very strong. We mentioned the penchant to play something proactive at Pro Tours in the introduction of the video as well. And these are two of the more powerful proactive decks there are. And the matchup's pretty close between them. Mm-hmm. I do really like Teague out of the sideboard in the humans decks for this matchup, because as we mentioned, being a meddling mage for two things is really strong and really helps out your decisions on what to take with Kitesail Freebooter and what else to name with meddling mage. So definitely a strong addition if you expect Tron to add to your humans deck, and you can find it with Bugler.
And also probably like Damping Sphere is like another good option if you really want to hammer that matchup home with humans. That's probably a good option too.
But that's one that doesn't attack.
No, it doesn't attack, but it really does slow the Tron deck down a ton. It's almost like you have to have O-Stone or Bust, like when you have the Damping Sphere out there.
It's hard for them to bring in a card like Nature's Claim in this matchup.
Yeah, I was actually bringing in a couple Nature's Claims when I was playing against humans this weekend, because I've seen so many Damping Spheres in these decks, and you still have like Vial, and so I was like, well, I could still hit a Vial, I guess. So I was bringing in two.
That's the kind of card that I would not bring in until they showed me a Damping Sphere.
Okay.
Even if I lost game one.
Okay, really? Yeah.
Yep.
Just no respect.
Yeah.
I mean, I think just hitting Vial is pretty nice also, though, so I didn't mind just tagging a Vial.
Show it to me.
All right.
No fear.
Okay, well, that's why the Tron player lost, human player won.
I don't think that had any bearing. You had 0 copies of Damping Sphere on your deck.
The one game I drew all my Vials, I drew them like late game and didn't matter.
Yeah, that's the risk you take when you play Vial. You got to play it turn 1 several times, and it was great. So
that's true.
You got the one bad game.
Yep. So we're gonna have Legacy to finish off our team constructed battle here. So I'm going to be bringing Infect to the table. I do believe Infect's pretty well positioned right now. Before, Grixis Delver and just the Delver variants in general, but especially Grixis Delver was your worst possible matchup. Grixis Delver is not really a deck now. Some people there's definitely still Grixis decks.
Noah Walker's still playing it.
Yeah, that's true.
We saw Grixis Death Shadow at the last Open, so that might be an issue. But those decks are definitely less prevalent than they used to be. And I agree, Infect is a lot better when the format slows down a little bit. There's been a little uptick in combo. Infect is great against the combo decks.
Yep.
Even a deck like Sneak and Show.
And like Death and Taxes is a pretty big here too. Death and Taxes has gotten a lot of big upgrades, and usually Infect's pretty good in that matchup.
Well, we'll see, because Death and Taxes is the deck I am playing. That matchup I think is very interesting. There's a lot going on, a lot of disruptive elements on both sides, so the games can play out in very different ways depending upon how you marshal them. I think Thalia is going to be a really important card.
Sanctum Prelate is a big one. It was definitely a lot easier before Sanctum Prelate.
I don't even know, do I normally name one, then you still get to Invigorate? I have to kind of name 3 sometimes. Again, it depends. That card can name a lot of different things.
Yeah, then one just kind of shuts off your swords.
Yeah, so a lot of things to think about with both sides. There should be a really fun, interesting matchup to cap off our preview for Pro Tour 25th anniversary this weekend in Minneapolis. I believe it's in Minneapolis.
That sounds right.
Yeah, that sounds right. I think I'm right.
That sounds like a town that would maybe have a Magic tournament in it.
Sure.
So yeah, so that sounds right. I mean, that's the Grand Prix. The previous weekend was in Minneapolis, so they just stay there. For the that would make sense. You have the Leonard Grand Prix, and then people can travel to both of those. So yeah. So yeah, check out that Legacy match up on Friday. That's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of close decisions, and I think it's going to be some good Magic there.
Yeah, we've had good Magic so far this week. 2 close 3-2 matches, a lot of close games, and it should continue with Legacy. But for today, that's going to be it. For Todd Stevens, I'm Ross Merriam, and we will see you next time here on the Versus Series. Bye.